The intent of this video is to review the World War II B-29's bomber ditching process and the crew ditching rescue rates. The B-29 bombers were unique as they flew over water during the majority of their long missions from the Marianas Islands to mainland Japan. This map shows the extent of Japanese-occupied territories and the date of conquest. The zone of occupation represents around 1/6 of the Earth's surface and encompasses 20% of the Earth's population. This declassified map shows a reduced date of occupation as of January 1st, 1945. This map illustrates the simultaneous central and southern island hopping campaigns by Admiral Nimitz and General MacArthur. The B-29s were stationed on 3 islands within the captured Marianas Island chain. B-29 bombers could be dispatched from Saipan, Tinian, or Guam. Notice that Iwo Jima is around the halfway point from the Marianas Islands to Japan. B-29 bombers adopted Iwo Jima as an emergency landing field during the war, and P-51 Mustangs flew as fighter escort from Iwo Jima starting in April 1945. The duration of B-29 flights from the Marianas and back was roughly 14.5 hours, as defined in this 1945 declassified 20th Air Force Command and Staff Reference Book. If a bomber could not safely make it to Iwo Jima or the Marianas, the crew members would either need to ditch or bail out of the bomber. This 1955 Maxwell Air Force Base Sea Survival Experience Study document reviewed 2,500 World War II ditching and bailing out events. The major cause and frequency of the in-flight emergencies are listed in this table. Combat damage, engine and/or mechanical failure, and fuel exhaustion comprised 81% of the in-flight emergencies. During the pre-flight briefing, the plane's crew were informed of the locations of rescue vehicles placed along the bomber's path to assist in locating and picking up survivors. This declassified 1953 Air Force historical study lists the type and quantity of rescue vehicles available to the bombers. Air-sea rescue vehicles included flying boats and B-17s, submarines, and surface ships. Bomber Command placed vehicles along the bomber's route to assist in rescue pickup. For example, the 78-page declassified 20th Army Air Force Bomber Command Tactical Mission Report outlines bombing missions numbers 306 through 310. These missions were flown on August 1, 1945. 806 B-29 bombers were dispatched to 5 separate Japanese targets. The map on the left shows the routes each one of the wings took and the waypoint timestamps of each route. The map on the right shows the stationed air-sea rescue vehicles on lifeguard standby awaiting to assist in rescue. The rescue vehicles included 8 submarines, 3 surface ships, likely destroyers, 10 Navy Dumbos, and 4 Super Dumbos. Super Dumbos were specially outfitted B-29s that were used to locate distressed B-29s and relay their positions to rescue ships and submarines. Super Dumbos could also drop life-saving equipment to downed crews. These images show a submarine, surface ship, a PBY, and a specially outfitted B-17 rescue plane. The plane's commander would initiate the ditching process by voice command over the interphone system, prepare to ditch in X minutes, followed by 6 short rings from the bailout bell. Each crew member will provide voice acknowledgement of this command. All crew members will remove their flak vests and flying boots, jettison the bombs, shoot out the ammo, shoot the Norton bomb sight, close any open bulkheads, and close the bomb bay doors. The radio room operator will transmit the plane's position, altitude, ground speed, course, and intent to either ditch or bail out. He will set the IFF emergency switch on and continually relay fixes and bearings. When below 5,000 feet, the crew will remove their parachute harnesses and jettison the escape hatches. The plane will not be pressurized and the hatches will be above the waterline. Prior to water impact, the inboard engines will be shut down and the propellers feathered. This is a navigator's astrodome located in the crew communications tunnel that will need to be jettisoned by pulling on a strap. The flight engineer's escape window will also need to be removed. The pilot and co-pilot's escape windows will need to be opened by sliding them up on rails. The aft unpressurized compartment overhead hatch will need to be opened. The tail gunner's removable egress window will also need to be opened. All of these hatches will need to be opened prior to ditching to ensure quick egress. Each of the bomber crew members will relocate from their combat positions to their assigned ditching locations. This February 1945 declassified impact manual graphically shows the B-29's forward crew station ditching positions. This includes the pilot, co-pilot, bombardier, navigator, flight engineer, right gunner, radio room operator, and left gunner. The bombardier will lie on his right side between the pilot and co-pilot, facing the right gunner and flight engineer. 3 crew members will remain in the aft section of the bomber. The top gunner and radar operator will rest their backs up against the 834 pressure bulkhead. The tail gunner will brace himself at his combat station. The pilot will provide a voice command, brace for impact warning, 5 seconds prior to water contact. This clip shows a B-29 ditching off of Iwo Jima. B-29s were known to exhibit good ditching characteristics and known to float for a couple minutes after water landings. The pilot should hold a nose-up pitch angle of 5 degrees as shown in this image. Once a plane has come to a rest, the crew members will egress the plane in the order and hatch or window locations as shown in this image. The left blister gunner was assigned to deploy the life rafts by pulling on the life raft handles. The crew members' life vests are to be inflated once outside the airplane. This image shows crew members leaving the bomber through the astrodome, rear escape hatch, and tail gun station window. The crew members will board the life rafts. The standard provisions of a life raft are shown here. An itemized list of those provisions is shown in this graphic. The crews will deploy the Gibson Girl radio to assist air-to-sea rescue in obtaining the crew's location. So what was the likelihood of a B-29 crew member surviving a ditching event? This 1953 declassified Air-Sea Rescue Report outlines the rescue stats of the 21st Bomber Command operating out of the Marianas. The first column is a month and year. The second column is a number of crew members who failed to return per month for reference. The third column is the number of crew members who ditched. Note that each B-29 was operated by 11 or 12 crew members. The fourth column is the number of crew members who crashed. The fifth column is the number of crew members who parachuted in the sea. The sixth column is the totals per month. The last column is the number of crew members who were rescued. The tabular data of the chart was plotted for ease of review. Couple observations of the plot. The number of crashes into the sea remained relatively constant per month. The number of ditchings decreased and the number of parachute drops increased starting in March 1945. This is coincident with Bomber Command shifting the missions from daylight to night operations. Distressed bomber crews were more likely to parachute at night than risk a water landing at low visibility conditions. This June 1945 declassified 20th Air Force Intelligence Report details the air-sea rescue stats for the months of November 1944 through May 1945. This July 1945 declassified 20th Air Force Intelligence Report details the air-sea rescue stats for the month of June 1945. The tabular data combined for each of these 2 reports is shown here. During these 8 months, 326 crew members out of the 692 who ditched were rescued. 366 crew members who ditched were not rescued. This chart shows the percentage of ditching crew members who were rescued per month. On average, 47% of crew members who ditched were rescued. This value is about 10% higher than B-17 crew members operating out of the 8th Air Force in the European theater. This value varied significantly month by month, but the rescue rates generally increased as the war progressed as outlined in this report. Improved combat crew training, aircraft maintenance, and rescue facilities continually lowered the percentage of total 21st Bomber Command personnel lost at sea. This plot shows the rescue rates per month for crew members who ditched, crashed, or bailed out. No bailouts were recorded up until April 1944. The overall rescue rates for B-29s were ditching 47%, bailing out 58%, and crashing 10%. In summary, bomber crews flew 14.5-hour missions, mostly over water. Bomber Command set up a robust air-sea rescue program to find and rescue crew members who ditched, crashed, or bailed out. The air-sea rescue program involved a mixture of ships, submarines, dumbos, and super dumbos. Most of the ditching events occurred prior to the shift to nighttime bombing in March 1945. The crew rescue rate was 47% for a ditching event. The crew rescue rate was higher at 58% for a bailout event. Surprisingly, crew members who bailed out experienced higher rescue rates than crew members who ditched. Overall rescue rates varied significantly month by month, but the air-sea rescue rates increased as the bombing campaign progressed. Did you find any surprising information or factoids in the data shown? Let me know in the comments section. If you've enjoyed the information provided, please like and subscribe to the channel World War II U.S. Bombers.